I've gotten kind of a reputation over the years of hating when someone makes a dark, angsty, real-world interpretation of a bright, colorful, fun property, so you're probably all waiting for my big rant about Power Rangers, so here goes. Actually, wait. I think I actually like this movie. Yes, I know it's getting bad reviews, but I can't help it. I did actually have a good time with this film, and I'm not even a Power Rangers fan. However, that's not to say it doesn't have its problems. Lots of problems. In fact, for the majority of this film, there is almost exactly one bad thing for every one good thing. Like, for example, when you first meet Jason, it starts with a great car chase that is filmed really inventively, but right before that is one of the worst jokes in the whole movie. And then when Billy gets introduced, it's a strong start to his friendship with Jason, but then we meet Kimberly and it's just goofy. But Billy and Jason and Kimberly come together in a great way that explains why they'd form a connection, but then Zach and Trini are just kinda there for no reason. And Zach and Trini have great backstories, but you get very little of it very late in the movie. And then there are characters like Rita, who are pretty solid balances of being serious, but also kind of over the top like their classic TV versions, but then every now and again they'll say or do one thing that makes me say, yeah, that was too far. This whole film is a very weird balancing act, as every line can push you back and forth from one side to the other. However, around the halfway point of this movie, when the team is getting together and they've found Zordon and Alpha, who is surprisingly toned down to the perfect level in my opinion, that's when this whole movie starts to work for me. And lots of that has to do with these kids. When I used to watch Power Rangers when I was a kid, I didn't care about the characters, I just wanted to see giant monsters fighting each other, and in this movie, it's quite the opposite. Heck, they don't even suit up as the Rangers till the last 20 minutes. The rest of the film is just them trying to learn how to morph and just exploring themselves and getting to know each other, and honestly, I thought that was great. Whereas in the show, all the characters were super happy and friendly and upbeat, these kids are legit teenagers with attitudes, but not because they wanted to make them hard and edgy. No, it's because these kids have actual issues going on in their lives. Each of them are developed. Each of them have problems, and they face them by slowly opening up to each other, by growing closer, and these actors nailed that. When you see Jason hugging Billy, you don't feel like they're going to turn around and walk back to their trailers after this shoot. No, you actually feel like they genuinely care about each other. And that pays off so well in the final moments. There is one scene showing them caring for each other that actually made me really start to choke up. No, I'm not kidding, and I can't believe I'm saying that. I have no idea how the Power Rangers fans feel about this, since they waited so long to actually have them suit up, and this was far more of just a personal story than a show about people fighting rubber monsters. But if they ever make a live-action Persona movie, I know what creative team I'm calling, because they nailed that feeling of people with deep backstories coming together. I mean, hell, they even made Zordon a rich character, and a lot of that is thanks to Bryan Cranston showing up to work. This was not a paycheck for him. He and these kid actors all turned in amazing performances. However, remember when I said that for every good thing, there is a bad thing in this film? Yeah, well, that was a whole lot of high praise, so prepare for those scales to balance. Because I can't believe I'm saying it, but in this dark and realistic take on a bright, colorful children's property, the dark and realistic stuff is great, but in the last act, when it turns into the bright, colorful children's property, yeah, it don't fit. They try to shove that square block into that round hole, and it does not want to go. Don't get me wrong, there are still some moments where I was having a good time in that last act, but most of that still had to do with the kids coming together and bonding and working together as a team, because that was the payoff to everything that we had seen throughout the rest of the film. But Rita just goes full cartoon in that last act. Goldar looks lame. The Zords are slightly better than Michael Bay's Transformers, but that's still not saying much. And even when it's fun, it's still weird to think, yeah, weren't you just moments ago dealing with your family issues? This is odd. And of course, you've all heard this by now, but I have to say it. I hate lazy product placement. Don't get me wrong, I know how the sausage is made. I know that every now and again you need product placement, but you can be clever with it. And this film's product placement for Krispy Kreme is horrible. It is insultingly bad. Every time that I thought, okay, I'm looking past the problems here in the last act, I'm getting into it, someone would shout out, "We have to get to the Krispy Kreme," and I would throw my hands up all over again. This makes the product placement in the Marvel films and Man of Steel look tamed. It is so bad it made me drop the score that I'm going to give it by 1 whole point, because damn, it is just offensive how lazy it was. I'd go into more details, but I don't want to give Krispy Kreme any more attention than they already crammed into this film. So in the end, I totally see all the problems with this film, and if you hate this movie for those problems, I absolutely understand that. But I also saw a lot of positives in here too, and in the end, the bond that these kids shared and how well you were able to buy them and their struggle actually pushed me into liking this film. Power Rangers get 7 Dunkin' Donut Munchkins out of 10. F you, Krispy Kreme. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and if you want to see my spoiler talk about Power Rangers, then click that box right there, and if you want to let me know what you thought of it, then leave that in the box below or contact me on Twitter and Tumblr at Professor Thorgi. Thanks again, everyone. Come back next time.